Hi, this is Dr. Julie Gilbert, and I'm from Oregon Weight and Wellness, and I'm joined by Rachel Matthews. Hi, Rachel.
Hey, everybody.
Sorry, I got to get whatever the marbles out of my mouth. Me. Do you ever do little stretching exercises before you start a live stream?
Yes, when I used to do like drama sketches and stuff, we would, trying to get it all out of your mouth.
Me,
So,
me, mama, moo. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so here we are
Mm-hmm.
from our homes. I'm in my kitchen today.
Yeah.
Yay. And I think I was in the kitchen last time. But
Yes,
anyway, we have started a new book, Sleep Smarter.
Mm-hmm.
And in the show notes, I wrote chapter 1, but we're actually going to start in the foreword.
Oh, did you say that okay. Yeah, we're going to go a little bit. We're going to rewind a little bit.
Right. Rewind, back the truck up. Yeah. Because there's some good stuff there. Rachel?
There is.
Yeah.
If you're following along, if you happen to get this book on Audible or online or at your local bookstore or the library even, great, but you don't have to. We're going to try to do our best to highlight the main points, the main takeaways. But this is also a book that we do groups in. We do group coaching in at Oregon Weight and Wellness. So this is kind of one of the big lifestyle medicine topics that we bring in as the holistic approach to weight loss, to well-being, to improving, health, all health markers. So this time it's sleep. Last time it was food and nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
probably always talk about food, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's the biggie, right? Mm-hmm. Not more important than these other ones, but just it seems to be the one. Well, I don't know. I was going to say it seems to be the one that we have most control over, in the sense that we can either eat something or not, and what we choose to eat. But I think we have control over our movement. We have control over stress. It's just all about habits and learning these pieces, right? Understanding them better.
Yeah.
So in the forward, what we wanted to do, it's a quick forward. It's just 2 pages. But what he talks about, he has a list. When you improve your sleep by using the tips in this book, you'll likely experience the following benefits. So I think most of us could probably rattle off what we think sleep is good for.
And beauty sleep, right? Get your beauty sleep. Yeah.
Get your beauty sleep. We know we're more cranky in the morning, right?
Got up in the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah. Great. We have all of these, this language around, like these sayings around it. Maybe a little bit more brain fog if we haven't slept.
Yeah. Right.
And these are things that we experience. And so because we're experiencing it firsthand, it's like cause and effect. We recognize, but there's all these deeper things going on that we don't always connect. We don't always see how it is sort of flowing down river and impacting us. Yeah. And we don't always know to go, I wonder if this is because of my poor sleep.
Right.
We connect it to a lot of other things, like cravings, for instance, snacking, craving, the inability to choose healthy food later in the day. We think it's because of our bad habits, or because somebody brought cookies to the office, or all these other, and those might be the reasons, but it might also have to do with your sleep.
Right.
Yeah. That's not always fully understood, is it?
Right. That's right. If you're not getting your sleep ducks in a row, it's going to impact the way your day goes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. What happens during the day impacts your night. What happens at night impacts your day. And it goes around and around.
And it can be, sometimes it's a vicious cycle, but it can be a beautiful cycle. It's meant to be a beautiful cycle, right?
Yes.
It's meant to be productive and thriving cycle. That's what it's designed for.
The way that I said that had this negative connotation, right? That what happens at night impacts your day. But what beautifully happens at night, this great sleep that you can work towards and strive towards, and help yourself get that great sleep, it can impact this amazing day. Yeah. And so it's either for the good or for the not so great.
Yeah. Right.
So what do you say we go through a list of these things, and you can help illuminate how these things work, perhaps. But the first one is better skin health and more youthful appearance.
Right. Yeah, versus bags under your eyes.
Right. And emotional regeneration and better relationships.
Yeah.
I think that one's probably kind of obvious. Emotional regeneration. I like the way he says that. So
Mhm.
it's not just a physical regeneration at night. Our bodies are healing and restoring, but
Mhm.
our emotions are kind of being restored. Um,
Mhm.
they talk about willpower. You kind of go to bed at night and you probably are on the last drops of willpower for the day. You're crashing
You're
and burning
spent.
into, you're
Spent.
spent. Yeah,
Yeah.
the tank is empty. When you wake up in the morning, if you've had this restful restorative sleep, likely your willpower tank is full. You're
Mhm.
ready to go for the day, make decisions, both in your job, for your health, with your family. It's a bunch of yes and no's, right? We're deciding all day long, and that draws on the willpower.
Mm. Right.
What about decreased risk of stroke and
Yeah.
cardiovascular disease? It makes
Right.
sense, but why?
Yeah. Right. Well, a lot of it has to do with some nitrous oxide production that
Mm.
happens at night, especially when you're breathing through your nose. And I think we're going to learn a lot more,
Uh-huh.
as we go through why and how sleep specifically decreases our risk for these things. But it
Mhm.
has to do with hormonal balance, insulin, cortisol. It has
Yeah.
to do with nitrous oxide production, especially if you're
Mm.
sleeping through your nose versus your mouth. So, I mean, it's never just one little thing. It's an
No.
intricately woven, spectacular
Mhm.
tapestry of beautiful things happening in your brain and body when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's likely one of the difficult things to understanding sleep is that it's so many little things.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel as cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
If you let's say you're dairy intolerant, you have lactose intolerance. If you eat dairy, you feel the stomach ache, right? Very cause and effect, very linear, pretty simple, kind of straightforward. But like what you were just saying, there's all of these little interwoven impacts that on a cumulative effect
Mm-hmm.
result in massive change for the good or for the not so healthy. But we can't always see it happening in real time.
Right, right. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
He talks about fewer accidents.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's just because you're rested, better
Yeah.
balance. You can balance. You don't make
Mhm.
mistakes
Right.
as
Yeah.
much, like mental
Mhm.
mistakes.
Right, and you have better, maybe, reaction time.
Oh, reaction times. Yes.
Mhm.
Right. What do they say about people who are sleep deprived? It's like being like blowing an alcohol level of
Mhm.
drunk on a
Yeah, right, binge
breathalyzer.
drinking or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, so then he says lower levels of inflammation,
Mhm.
enhanced function of the immune system, and lower risk of cancer and effect and infection.
Right.
So a lot of healing pieces there, right? Lower levels of
Yes,
inflammation.
definitely. Yeah,
Um,
which is also connected to hormonal balance.
mhm,
And then most of, the people that we talk to are zoning in on this one,
mhm.
faster rate of weight loss. So people are like, what? How can sleep affect weight? Come on.
Yeah.
And it's more than because we know that sleep apnea
Mhm.
affects the hormones, which affects, blood sugar control and then insulin sensitivity and then weight regulation. So, I mean, it's just this cascading,
Yeah.
effect. And but it's more than that. So we're going to learn all about that. I think
Yeah.
it's fascinating. It's
It
just
is.
fascinating to me. Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
and you're right. He as we go through the chapter, he really does highlight kind of the hows and the whys
Mhm.
of these
Yeah.
things.
Right.
Decreased pain, stronger
Yeah.
bone,
Right. Right.
right?
Because we're going to learn that one of the main things about sleep is to get rid of by the GLIMP system.
Mm.
Cheryl is saying hello. Hi, Cheryl.
Oh,
But through the glymphatic system, we're getting rid of a lot of the waste that our brain has made during the day, the waste products.
mhm.
And so by getting rid of waste products, we're decreasing inflammation and then pain.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So interesting that it's not just healing the physical body that we think of, like the bones and the muscles, but also the brain, right?
Right.
There's a garbage system in the brain. It has to
Yeah.
empty it out.
It has to empty. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think leads to the next one: lower risk of Alzheimer's disease and
Yeah.
cognitive decline.
Yes. Better memory. Yeah.
Better memory, yeah.
Longevity. So many wonderful, good things happen when we sleep. It's amazing that we resist it.
Right. This is a cultural thing.
Right.
We resist sleep like we say burning the candle at both ends.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it somehow is this thing to be like a spy, like, oh, wow, this person's a hard worker and we value hard work. And so therefore, if you work harder and sleep less, then you must really be successful. You must really want it badly. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you only needed 6 hours of sleep, but probably wrong. Yeah. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And it's just, even one night of missed sleep or deprived, sleep deprivation changes your body. So night after night after night, not a good thing.
Right.
So, yeah. And there's not one size fits all, but we know some general things, as far as how much sleep people get, and how helpful that is. So
yeah, I think that there's the general term like, oh, you should get about 8 hours of sleep, and that's a nice like general term.
Right.
But we're going to talk more, I think, in this book about what actually is good for you. What is your circadian rhythm?
Right. Yes.
And and I think circadian rhythm is fascinating. That's the part that patients love, that chapter probably the best, because it's so fascinating.
Right.
But if you're not sure about your own sleep rhythms, just start to pay attention. Try different times to go to bed, different times to wake up. Don't just sit on what someone once told you, that you're a night owl or that you're an early bird.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Cheryl asked, is 10 hours too much sleep? And I will say, and I'm going to say, I don't know specifically for one person, but I will say that there is such a thing as getting too much sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're in the bed 10 hours, maybe it's because you're not, the quality of the time in bed is not good. Yeah.
Right.
So, right.
Right.
So you're not getting enough quality. So it feels like your body needs to stay in bed longer. But anyway, we'll probably address that in one of our chapters. Yeah.
Yeah. He talks about kind of some general parameters and what to look for if you're questioning, well, how many hours do I need?
Right.
There's some things you can sort of experiment on yourself.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And what I love is toward the end of the book, he does have people do a 2-week experiment, isn't it? 2 weeks.
Yeah. 2-week sleep makeover is what he calls it.
Makeover. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll get to that part too. So this is going to be a great discussion. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. So awesome things that really help your health from sleeping.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Just sleep.
Just sleep. And I mean, I don't know about you, but as an adult, I love sleep. I know as a kid, no kids like sleep. It's like they're missing out on something.
Right.
But more and more now, I know I'm missing out on something when I don't sleep. Like I want to sleep so bad. So it's a shift for sure.
Right.
So it'll be fun. This will be a great topic.
Yeah, great topic.
Interest has peaked. I hope you're, from that list, that maybe that something there resonated with you and you thought, really? Can sleep really do that? So
yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about what's for dinner. And I want to show you. I stopped at a friend's house, and she gave me some zucchini. She gave me eggplant. She gave me I got tomatoes, onion.
Wow.
Red peppers, red bell peppers.
Ooh.
And so what I'm going to show you what I'm making. I know, can you see that's cooking up in my pan?
Yes.
And then I'm sauteing. So I'm making ratatouille.
Perfect garden meal. That's a perfect garden meal. Yes.
Perfect garden meal. Yeah. So it's got tomato, onion, and then basil, thyme. And then I've got the zucchini and the eggplant. And it's going to be delicious.
Oh, I'm so glad you
garlic. Yeah.
Ratatouille. I remember that being, I think we lost her. Hopefully she'll pop back in. I think she may have pushed the off button. Ratatouille, if you don't know, look it up online and search a recipe for it. Or there's, of course, the cute cartoon or animated movie called Ratatouille. The way I've made it before is dicing up all of these different vegetables from the garden and just slicing them thin in a big pan. There she is.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. I'm glad you were able to get back in. I wasn't sure how that was going to work.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about it. And we'll serve that alongside some protein, but I'm excited.
Yum, yum, yum. That sounds so great. I'm inspired now. I have an eggplant in my garden for the first time. I've never done it before. Apparently they're a little bit difficult to grow sometimes in Oregon. I don't know why, but I have 2 on my plant and they're the size of like a baseball. So they're not quite pickable, I think, yet, but I'm very excited about it.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Well, very good. All right. Well, did you say what you were having for dinner?
I didn't. For dinner, for us tonight, we just got back from spending a wonderful weekend at a friend's cabin on the river. And last night, our last dinner together was some fresh caught salmon that he had caught in Alaska. So we had salmon and a cabbage salad, and they sent us home with leftovers. I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
So we're redoing that salmon and cabbage salad.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. All right. Well, happy making your lunch if you're at lunchtime now, and then prepping your dinner, and and happy sleep tonight, right?
Sleep. Start tonight. Yes. Start getting curious. What could I do to shift my sleep a little bit?
Yeah, that's right. All right. Thanks so much. This has been great, Rachel. You have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank you. See you guys.
Bye-bye.